So before I get into this video today, I should probably explain why I'm on the Jigsaw when I made a video about selling the Jigsaw and a reveal video of the new R6. And it's quite simple. Basically, this video is filmed before I've even filmed the reveal of the R6. So if you have seen the reveal of the R6, you're very lucky because I haven't either. So please send me the link. So the reason I'm making videos but not uploading them is because I want the R6 reveal to come out. And if I uploaded these videos, there wouldn't be a proper reveal. But at the moment, I can't make a proper reveal because the bike's in pieces. And that's actually where I'm going right now. I'm on my way to Yamaha to hopefully fetch the parts that I need to get the R6 up and running. And then I can go make the reveal video, and then I can upload this video. So let me explain why I need to get parts for the R6 and why I've had it so long but not been able to make videos with it. And basically, we went to go look at this bike. It's a second-hand bike. And it looked pretty decent. It's not perfect. As you know, when you go and buy a second-hand bike, it's not perfect. It's not set up for you. The levers are generally set up wrong. There's a lot of play in the throttle if it's owned by people who don't know what they're doing. But you sort of think that you can get home and fix that stuff pretty quickly. So we didn't ride the bike much, and we sort of thought it's just play in the throttle, we can fix that instantly. So basically I got home and took this bike down the road. It was the first time I've ever ridden an R6. And it felt pretty terrible. And I was like, is this really how R6s feel? They are nothing compared to GSX-Rs. Why does everyone love them? But luckily, that's not the case, hopefully. I don't know yet, but hopefully that's not the case. I haven't ridden a real one. So the bike was very hard to turn to do finicky throttle movements because there was so much play in the throttle. So I got home and I thought I really need to fix this. So I adjusted it at the throttle and there wasn't enough adjustment in the throttle to fix all the play. So I thought that's not a problem, I'll go to the other end of the cable and fix it. I took the tank off, got to the other end and realized that one of the throttle cables was snapped. So you're still able to rev the bike, but any fine movement wasn't that responsive. So the same day I went and ordered a throttle cable from Yamaha. And now it's been over a week that I've been waiting for this cable. And while the bike has been sitting and out of order, I've been making some other videos with it and doing lots of work on it, getting it up to the way I like it. And I found that there was an oil leak in the sump through the gasket. I've ordered a gasket as well, hopefully that'll be here today. At the moment the R6 has no fluids in it whatsoever. The petrol tank is on the bench so that I can get to the throttle cable. There's no oil in the bike because the sump's not on the bike. And there's no coolant in the radiator either. That's another story. But I'm going to run in here to Yamaha and hopefully get my parts. And then I should see you at home to start fixing the R6. Okay, so I'm back home and I got my parts surprisingly enough. I'll show you those in a minute. But this is what the R6 currently looks like. There's not much to it. There's no sump. You can basically see straight into the engine. There's no headers, no exhaust pipe, no fairing, no tank, no seat. You can see in there is the broken cable, which we'll be getting to later on. So then here are all the pieces. We've got some fairings, a silencer, some headers, hangers. Then obviously we're going to have to change the oil, so we've got some Yamaha lube, an oil filter, a sump plug gasket, the actual sump gasket, a radiator cap because there's nothing in the radiator and the old one's rusty, then the actual sump plug, an emblem for the tail, and the throttle cable, which I've been waiting forever for. Okay, so first things first, I think I'm going to put the sump back on so that the engine's closed up a bit, we can put oil in the bike, we can put the headers back on, and then we can start with the throttle cable because I think I'm going to have to move the bike for that. So let's begin. As you can see, our sump is now on with its new gasket, so I'm really hoping it doesn't leak this time. And now while it's empty, we're going to change the oil filter. We've got our Yamaha oil filter remover, which makes things 10 times easier. You don't even have to stab a screwdriver through it. I'm hoping that it's as easy as it should be. I've cleaned the oil off of where the filter goes. I'm going to take the shower cap off our new one. And it looks like it's pre-coated with grease. So I don't even have to coat it in oil. It's super easy. Thanks Yamaha. I'm just going to twist it on there. Perfect. Next up I'm going to put our new sump plug in with a little magnet on the end to catch any metal bits in the oil. And here's our old one. Its previous owner really didn't like bolts or get on with them very well. I almost forgot to put the new gasket we got on it. That would have been a waste. Okay, so now that everything is in place and on and tight, I think we're ready to put some oil in the engine. We're going to start with 2 liters of my beautiful Yamaha lube and see how full it is on the dipstick, and to see if the gasket leaks, and if everything's looking good, we'll move on. That's just over 2 liters that I put in. Obviously I can't start it yet because it doesn't have anything else. Once the throttle cable and everything's installed, we'll run the bike and the radiator's full, we'll run the bike, then we'll measure the oil and fill up if we need. This is what the throttle currently looks like, with 1 snapped cable. I don't know how well you can see in here, but basically this piece here is snapped. So that's what we're going to be doing next. And here's our beautiful new cable. So first off, I'm figuring out how to get the old one out, and this side seems pretty simple. It's the other end I'm worried about. I just completed the easiest part, which is getting it out. I don't even know how it's going to be possible to get the new one back in, but I'm going to try. By some miracle I managed to get the throttle cable from there all the way down to somewhere you can't see, into here and close to the mechanism that they need to connect to. But I think before I try and connect them down here, it might be easier if it's connected up here. So I'm gonna do that first. I wasn't filming, but I think I actually got it, and it didn't even take me long at all, hence why I wasn't filming. So, okay, I think it's still fine. We're gonna put the bolts in, and then we'll feel it and see if it's a real throttle yet. The moment of truth. So much better. There's a tiny bit of play in here, but nothing that can't be changed in these. I don't have to head over there anymore. Feels like a real throttle. You should have seen it beforehand. Beforehand, there was literally this much play in the throttle. Now I've put the airbox back on, the head is back on, the silencer back on, and we're slowly making it look more like a motorbike. And fast forward some more, and we have a tank on. So now we have petrol and oil. 1 liquid to go. Next up, I think we should do an easy install, because the last few haven't been the easiest of things to do. So here is the new radiator cap, and here's the old one. This looks like it'll be much better. I don't even know what this one has on it, but this will be better. And just like that, it has seats on and is sexy again. Time for the last piece of the puzzle, which is antifreeze and some distilled water in the radiator, and then we can finally start it. The fairings are back on, we've got some distilled water and coolant in the radiator, and now we're going to start it for the first time since I brought it home over a week ago. Oh, it's so good to be on this thing. And it's so good to finally hear it. It sounds so good. I literally heard it a couple of times the first day I had it, and I'd missed that sound already. That's how good this thing sounds. But I think we were a little bit burned buying this thing secondhand. However, I don't think it was that intentional by the seller. I don't believe that he knew there was a snap throttle cable or that there was an oil leak. And if he did know that there was an oil leak, he didn't really care. He probably just kept topping it up. The most frustrating part was the amount of time that it was off the road for, and I didn't get to ride it because it took so much labor. It took a long time to get the parts here. But actually, a throttle cable and a gasket and a few odds and ends that we didn't have to do but we really wanted to do, it didn't cost that much money. The most expensive part, I think, was actually the oil, because oil is so expensive these days. But hopefully it'll all be worth it, and we'll have 1,000 miles ahead of us on this motorbike. Oh boy, does it sound good. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.